You are 30 minutes into a debugging session. The transcript is huge. The agent has logs, stacked traces, old guesses, half-fixed ideas, and 3 different versions of the goal. The one real constraint is buried near the top. Do not change the public API. You think it has seen everything, but has it noticed the thing that matters? That is the moment when context stops feeling like memory and starts feeling like a budget. This is lesson 4 in the Claude Code Production Agent course, Context as a First-Class Resource. Subscribe if you want the complete course sequence. We are moving from impressive demos to practical control, and context is one of the biggest hidden control points. In Lesson 01, we learned the agent loop. In Lesson 2, we learned that Claude Code can run through different surfaces and the surface changes accountability. In Lesson 3, we learned that model choice should follow workload shape, not hype. The lesson learned last time was that the right model is the one that reliably survives the job. That matters today because even a strong model can fail if the working context is noisy, missing, stale, or overloaded. The pain point is context hoarding. When teams do not know what matters, they paste everything: full documents, long logs, old chat history, half-relevant tickets, previous guesses, every constraint they can find. It feels safe, but it often makes the agent worse. Context is not memory in the human sense. Context is the working set the model can currently see, weigh, confuse, or overfit to. If you remember one sentence from this lesson, remember this. Treat context like a budget. Reserve space for the goal, constraints, current evidence, and the next decision. Archive everything else. There are 5 things a good context budget protects. First, the goal. Second, the constraints. Third, the current evidence. Fourth, the working files. Fifth, the exclusions, what the agent must not do. That is the map. Context is not about giving the model everything. It is about giving it the right working set at the right time. Context is the bench space in a workshop. If you cover the bench with every tool, receipt, cable, spare part, and half-finished job, nothing important is easy to find. A clean bench is not less capable. It is more usable. The same is true for agents. More context is not always more intelligence. Sometimes it is just more noise. The visible artifact for this lesson is the context budget card. It has 6 fields: goal constraints, current evidence, working files, exclusions, compaction trigger. Imagine an agent debugging a public API issue. The goal is to fix the bug. The constraint is not to change the public API. The current evidence is the failing test and error log. The working files are the handler and test file. The exclusions are schema changes and unrelated refactors. The compaction trigger is when the conversation starts repeating old guesses. That card turns a vague session into a controlled working set. The common mistake is believing that a longer transcript means a better agent. Sometimes the opposite is true. The model has seen so much that the important constraint becomes just one sentence in a sea of noise. This is where teams lose trust. They say the model ignored the instruction. Sometimes it did, but sometimes the system buried the instruction under everything else. Let us recap Lesson 4. In Lesson 1, we learned the loop. In Lesson 2, we learned that the operating surface matters. In Lesson 3, we learned that model choice follows workload shape. In Lesson 4, we learned that context is a budget, not memory. The core rule again: reserve context for the goal, constraints, evidence, working files, and next decision. Archive everything else. The lesson learned is this: a production agent does not need every piece of information. It needs the right information at the moment of decision. Context discipline is not administrative tidiness. It is a reliability technique. Subscribe for the full Claude Code Production Agent course. We are building one practical decision at a time. so you can make better choices when agents touch real work. In Lesson 5, we answer the uncomfortable question: when is an agent actually production ready? A successful demo is not enough.